Hey guys, this is Justin at The Survivor Review. Today we'll be talking about Episode 3 for Season 2 of Ash vs. Evil Dead, titled Last Call. Now, this episode doesn't reach the insane heights of the last one, but it's still a crazy, wild, fun entry that you'd expect from this show. My only real problem with it is the fact that it doesn't really bring the story forward too much. This episode's very filler. Because plot-wise, this episode has Ash throwing this big party at this bar in order to lure in the kids who stole his car in the last episode who have the Book of the Dead. And while that's going on, the kids who stole the car are being hunted down by the car itself, which gets possessed by the Book of the Dead. Now, that's about it plot-wise. Nothing else really moves the story forward. This episode mostly is just fun, filler, but with some really good character moments. Good character development, at least for some characters that you wouldn't expect to have development and go in directions that they do in this episode. So that's about it story-wise, but it makes up for it with just some entertaining scenes that are just wild and just insane. Starting with the craziest thing in this episode, the car gets possessed by the Book of the Dead. Now that's awesome. That's something we've never seen in the Evil Dead franchise. We've only seen just people get possessed. So the car having a mind of its own, hunting down these kids, like throwing the hubcap off its side and impaling a dude, and the hubcap just coming back like a boomerang, was just awesome. I loved that stuff. It's like taking the car, Christine, and then possessing it with the Book of the Dead. So you already have that crazy psychotic car, but just going nuts and going to extreme lengths to kill these kids, and that stuff was the highlight. I love the imagery of the car coming to life, with the car coming on fire, or even looking like the car's breathing sometimes. That stuff was just crazy, and I loved it. That's some of the best stuff, some of the highlights of the show, actually. Even though I don't think this episode is up there with some of the great episodes of the show, I would say the moments with the car are definitely some of the highlights. And then you get to the stuff with Ash in the bar, which is mostly just fun, goofing around stuff. We do finally get to see Ted Raimi in the show as Ash's childhood friend Chet, which is a lot of fun. I love seeing Ted Raimi. He's a blast. So it was great seeing him, great introducing him to the show. I can't wait to see him do more. All he really did in this episode was just pour drinks for the characters and joke around. But glad he's there. Can't wait to see more. There's some great lines in this episode. I love the moment when Ash tells Ruby to just go distract his dad. And he just goes, so I need you to do one thing for my dad. He just goes, kill him? He goes, yeah, no, just distract him. It's funny. Ruby's just funny. I love her reactions to everything in this episode is hilarious. She has just this face which is like, what the fuck? Like, seriously? Like, why am I here? This is stupid. And it's great every time. And that leads to good character development with these characters. Because there's actually a good development with Ruby and Kelly. Because Ruby just gets fed up because Ash is mostly focused on... First off, he's more focused on finding his car than the actual Book of the Dead.
Now I'll never get my car back.
You mean your book, right?
Well, of course I mean the car.
Which leads to the episode starting out with this hilarious montage of just Ash being all lovey-dovey with his car, which was funny as hell. And then just the fact that Ash is not the best at his plans, and this plan to get the kids into the bar to get the book is of course not going to work out. So Ruby decides to just go on her own. Just like, screw this, she's going to go find the book by herself. And then with Kelly, there's a scene where she is talking to Pablo, and Pablo's basically just like, you know, I wish I could be you, just not having anybody to care for, have anybody to care for me, just being all alone and on my own. And this really affects Kelly. She really does not like that. That's something that we haven't really seen explored with her character yet. She's just not happy with her life right now, because, like, it's not really going anywhere, and I thought that was really cool. She ends up just leaving the bar just to sit on the curb and just drink because she's just not happy. And as she's sitting there drinking is when Ruby walks out to go find the book. They end up talking with each other, and Ruby figures out that maybe the person that she needed to get help from was not Ash, but Kelly. So they end up agreeing to work together to go find the book, and they walk off to go find the book. That was really interesting because in the last couple episodes, Kelly really hated Ruby. She did not want her there at all. But then she agrees to go find the book with him. Yeah, of course she was drunk, but still, that was something interesting. That was good character development. And then the other character who gets development a lot is Ash's dad, Brock. Because he shows up at the bar, and of course, just his normal, bitter, angry self. And there's this great scene where he just goes off on him, basically saying that he actually blames Ash for the death of Cheryl, his daughter, Ash's sister. And I love that. I love seeing how Brock actually handled what happened to his daughter in the first movie. I never really thought about that. They're like, yeah, that was his daughter who got killed too. And so the fact that he actually blames Ash, his own son, for her death was like, wow, now you can kind of see where he's coming from, because it's like, that's actually a pretty big deal, and I really like that scene. Well, then after that scene, Brock goes off into the bathroom stall with this girl to, do some stuff. Turns out that girl is a Deadite, and first off, Ash's solution to stopping that is just get completely drunk. And then it's Pablo that convinces him to go in there and actually help him and save him, which is one of the hilarious. It's a great speech from Pablo, just like convincing him that he is the hero that he is. And then just Bruce giving that eagle squawk at the end. Could not stop laughing at that. So Ash saves his dad, kills the Deadite, which is leads to this great scene in the stall. And just that stuff was great. That was a really fun sequence. And now Brock believes him. He believes that Ash is the hero that he is, and is convinced that Ash is a hero. Now, I really like that. I was waiting for that moment, for him to finally realize that what Ash is saying is actually true, and he is not this crazy person that everybody thinks he is. And I love that. I'm like, here we go. It's going to be really interesting moving forward with the show, and his dad actually knowing this stuff and actually being on his side. I'm like, can't wait to see it develop more. And then he gets hit by a car and dies. Which, I'm kind of disappointed at, because I wanted this character to be around longer. And so it sucks that in just the 3rd episode he dies, but it's like, it was a well done surprise. I didn't exactly see it coming. And it also reveals some interesting information, because he had this great conversation between Ash and his dad, where his dad actually says that, I believe in you, I think you're a hero. And then he goes, well, there's something else really important that I haven't told you that's going to completely change everything. Then he gets hit by the car. And that's just an awesome cliffhanger, because I just want to know what he was talking about. What does he know? It seems like Brock knew more already than he let on. Like, he knew more about this stuff already. But then it also leaves a lot of things open in an interesting way. It leaves this new road for them to go down to find out what was he talking about. And I really like that. I can't wait to see that explored in the next episode. Even though this episode doesn't really bring the story forward too much, it adds a lot of new elements, a lot of new character development, and a lot of new stuff, like the whole car being possessed, which is something you never saw in the first season. So it's still new and fresh, despite not being the best story-wise. So that's episode 3 of Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 2. Just awesome. I can't wait to see where it goes. Really heartbroken that they killed Brock, but you know what? I want to see how that develops as the season progresses. Maybe it'll probably pay off. I'm assuming it will. Either way, that's about it for now. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.